Good morning, my Real News Media TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning, and I'm wishing for everyone a wonderful and a productive day. And in the news this morning for December 28, 2023, police say Hopewell High principal remains a person of interest in relation to Bursar's death. Baron Grant, the principal of Hopewell High School in Hanover, who was taken into custody hours after the murder of the institution's bursar, has been released but remains a person of interest. He was released from custody on Friday night. He continues to be a person of interest in the investigations as they continue to probe, stated head of the Jamaica Constabulary Force Corporate Communications Unit, Senior Superintendent Stephanie Lindsay. The probe is still going on. It has not been concluded just yet, the senior officer added. 35-year-old Jermaine Roberts of a St. James address was reportedly shot minutes to 4 last Wednesday afternoon by a lone gunman as he was about to drive off the compound. He reportedly died on the spot. The police said Roberts was attacked by an unidentified individual wearing a floral hoodie, who witnesses described as approximately 6 feet 2 inches tall. The principal of the institution, who was on the outside at the time of the incident, reportedly smashed into a glass door as he tried to escape for his life. He was injured and taken to a medical institution for treatment. The principal was taken into custody shortly after he was released from hospital last Wednesday. Last week, the police said preliminary inquiries had suggested that the shooting may have stemmed from an interpersonal conflict. The police are urging anyone with information related to this incident to come forward. Individuals may share information with the police emergency at 119, Crime Stop at 311, the NIB tip line at 811, or the nearest police station. Shaw and the Manchester police condemn gun attack at a family fun day. Leaders in Manchester say they are shocked following Tuesday night's gun attack at a family fun day, which left 5 people injured, even as the police are warning that permits are being reviewed for other events. Member of Parliament for Manchester North Eastern Audley Shaw, who attended the event at Appletree Plaza, said that the incident is unusual. I was there and I left before this incident. I have asked the police to leave no stone unturned in their search for these criminals. We are not used to this kind of criminality in this constituency, he told the news via WhatsApp on Wednesday. The annual 2-day gospel concert and the family event, conceptualized by the late businessman Lennox Peter Powell, was being held in memory of him following his passing in June. Head of the Manchester Police, Superintendent Shane McCullough, told the news that the incident, which happened shortly before 11 p.m., was an unprovoked and senseless act. It is a yearly event that is always peaceful with a fun day. The information that we have so far is that 2 men on a bike rode up minutes to 11 p.m. and opened fire indiscriminately at the persons standing outside the venue, said McCullough. Based on our investigations so far, we have not established any motive, he added. The 5 people, 4 men and a woman, have been hospitalized in stable condition. Superintendent McCullough suggested a ban is likely for some events. There is a strong possibility that there will be a ban on events from now leading to New Year's Eve. This will be done on a case-by-case assessment. Intelligence will have to be assessed, reassessed, and we will do a review of the decision within the first week of January, said McCullough. In an abundance of caution and to ensure public safety, it is necessary that we as the police put some precautionary measures in place, and this is one of the measures that is on the table. Moving into the new year, we can't afford to have senseless acts taking place like this, where innocent persons come out to enjoy themselves at a permitted event and are targeted by hoodlums, he added. Custos of Manchester, Garfield Green, condemned the shooting. I am very shocked because I know what Mr. Paul used to do in the years gone by, and I know he was doing it out of his heart with a love for the people. I know people from Trelawney came over, so it went beyond the Christiana, he said. Green said the attack at the culmination of the 2-day event affects the community spirit and shows indiscipline in the society. For someone to carry out such a brazen attack on the people, it is very sad. I think it goes to show the high level of indiscipline in the society. When you shoot into a crowd like that, you don't know who is going to get shot, he said. We have really lost some values in our people. I hope that the police will find these persons quickly and they themselves will be brought to justice. Hopefully, if convicted, they will be rehabilitated one way or the other. We really need to regain some of our lost values that this country was built on. We need to be respectful of the authorities. It is really just a handful of people causing the mayhem, added Green. East Kingston residents on edge after learning of government's plan to acquire lands for development. Owners and occupiers of 7 parcels of land in East Kingston, which have been pegged for development by the Andrew Holness administration, have described the move as ludicrous, even as a fear of eviction from the homes they have occupied for years and in cases decades mounts. The residents say the proposed acquisition, which they were aware of until alerted by a reporter, is tantamount to betrayal, as they had received no assistance from the government to rebuild when all but 2 of the homes were devastated by a fire that swept the area during the COVID-19 pandemic. The Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, in an urgent notice published in the Sunday edition of the Jamaica Observer, said the Minister of Housing is interested in acquiring the properties. It said anyone knowing the whereabouts of the owners or agents kindly contact the Land Administration section within the ministry on or before January 19, 2024. Wednesday, when the news visited the area, 2 of the 3 properties at James Street, which had been completely burnt, were unoccupied, but for debris from the fire. However, the affected homes on Smith Lane were in different stages of reconstruction. All black me buy and say me a go lick out this so. The amount of black way in a me yard, them something you sin in a brother. People can't work them money, and say me buy me black and me cement them already, one female resident complained. Me and my family live here for years, and we pay everything for it. My family is going to buy the property. So when them do that, what them leave if we do? I send them something here. You know a sin, she said passionately. An elderly man and a woman at another of the Smith Lane addresses, which had been reduced from 8 bedrooms to 1 because of the fire, told the news that they have occupied the premises for 24 years. The owner for the place died years ago and leave it to our daughter. The daughter died and leave it to him, the woman said, pointing to the man. So we are the owners now, but our name didn't sign up on the property. The house did burn down year before last, in 2021, and all the papers burned up, title and everything, the woman who gave her name as Catherine told the news. The elderly woman argued that they had received no assistance to rebuild, and the now decrepit 1-bedroom structure, which they had tried to repair on their own, is the only home they know. We don't have anywhere to go, she said with a tone of resignation. A property owner for one of the parcels of interest, who resides overseas, while speaking with the news, was also taken aback by the government's quest. We have a title, we pay our taxes, and the ministry has my information and my contacts. We will contact them because that is ludicrous, said the landowner, who indicated he had recently listed the property, now occupied by tenants, for sale. For the occupant of the 1 residence at James Street, which survived the inferno, plans to legally own the property are being upended for a 3rd time. This one was under adverse possession by me before it burned down. It was in that process already, but it did go on hold when the government changed. I live here from me a boy till me a man. Me a 50 come next year. I was going to rebuild it. Them house I have to lick down and start fresh. It was owned by an old man who used to live round here. But that man died. Him never did get the title, he said. Meanwhile, a senior lands officer with responsibility for acquisitions in the ministry, Nicholas Pennant, responding to the news's queries ahead of its interviews with the residents, said the acquisitions were for development purposes. These places were burnt down years ago. What is there now is derelict remnants. The ministry calls it a project area. The addresses are all close, so they form a boundary, which we call a project area, which we will be working in. After acquiring, we would go forward based on whatever directive the Prime Minister gives after we own them, he told the news. Pennant said if there is no word from the individuals who own the property, the government will move ahead with the plans to acquire nonetheless. What we want to do is purchase via private treaty. If we don't hear from them by a certain time, we can proceed to compulsory acquisition, where the Commissioner of Lands does this on behalf of the Minister of Housing. They have the power to do so, he said. We have done some background work, we have titles and so forth. Some of them are deceased, some of them might have migrated. Hopefully, some of them can reach out to us by that time, whether the owners, the agents, or anybody representing an estate, Pennant said. The Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation was established in February 2016. It has responsibility for the formulation and implementation of policies relating to its portfolio areas, which include water and wastewater, land, environment, climate change, housing, urban renewal, economic policy and investment, and works.
Audio Jungle.